Governor, good to have you with us tonight. Here's a part of a new DNC ad that I want to show before we go to you. Here it is. Let's play it.
I don't believe in pandering and contorting myself into a pretzel. You run for the Senate as a liberal.
What about that? What about this ad? And is this going to hurt the Republicans, Governor?
Well, I think that Mitt Romney has some big problems at a time when all of us as Americans want to know what we can do as a country to create jobs. I mean, here's a guy who in the private sector had no success creating jobs. In fact, he made money for wealthy investors by actually stripping companies of jobs. And then if you look at his performance as governor, Ed, of the state of Massachusetts, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, he actually had that state ranked 47th among 50 states in job creation when he was governor. So this is not a man who can claim any success in creating jobs. In fact, quite to the contrary. And his flip-flops, the waffling back and forth, I mean, I think the line that's going to stick with everyone is not that tepid endorsement by John Huntsman, but his rightful observation that Mitt Romney's not running for the White House, he's running for the Waffle House. He's been on both sides of every important issue.
Here's Newt Gingrich trying to hammer Romney on the Bain story. Here it is.
We're going to go to Georgetown tomorrow. Georgetown has a steel mill, which was closed. Capital wasn't put at risk. Capital was drained out of that company. Governor Romney ran saying he created 100,000 jobs in the private sector. And let me just say,
Mr. Speaker, we've said we will not allow any comment on the other candidates.
I'm just trying to answer his question. So let me say it differently.
Governor, what about this story? Why isn't it getting traction in the polls? It seems like, Romney has jumped up 40% of the national polls. He's jumped up 17 points. Is this the wrong move? What do you think?
No, it's not the wrong move, but it takes a little bit of time for this to sink in. I mean, what we have now is a situation where this primary process in the Republican Party is getting to a point where he is picking up steam. I think we almost need to invent a new verb. It's not really an endorsement. It's not an acquiescence. It's whatever they say when they run out of steam. So, but the bottom line is this. Look, over the long term, there's no way that Mitt Romney can run away from his record. In the private sector, he was not a person that invested capital in order to create products. But he was a person that actually manipulated money, manipulated the books of troubled companies, stripped them of things like salaries for wages and workers and pensions in order to dress them up and resell them to make more money for wealthy investors. That's not how we make our middle class stronger. That's not how we expand opportunity. And then as governor of Massachusetts was a total failure. Yeah. 47th out of 50 states as governor. That's not a record to run on. It might take a while, but this is something that Mitt Romney can't run away from.
Is this something that the Democrats have to stay on, just keep pounding this story? You think that this will connect with middle-class voters in America?
I think it will, and you know what? There's bipartisan agreement. I mean, I think at this part of the Republican primary, you have people like Newt Gingrich pointing out that Mitt Romney's claims about job creation are false. Yeah. You have the Democratic Party that's able to point it out. And contrast that now with what Deval Patrick, Democratic governor of Massachusetts, has been doing, protecting investments in education, advancing life science and biotech, and now Massachusetts ranks 5th in job creation. That's a sharp contrast to what Mitt Romney did as governor.
What about these tax returns? How big a deal is this? And how much longer do you think he can hold out? Can he hold out?
No, I don't think he can hold out. I mean, he's going to have to release his tax returns. Any of us who run for public office have to do that. I had to do that. I mean, everybody has to do that. People expect some openness,
Why do you think he won't do it?
Transparency.
Why do you think he won't do it? Why does he refuse to do it?
Because it'll show just how far removed he is from the concerns of the working people of our country. Look, all of us as Americans need to be asking our leaders, what can we do to create more jobs? Mitt Romney's a member of the 1% who falsely believe that by concentrating wealth in the hands of the very few that somehow you create opportunity. That's not the way our country's been built. We build our country by investing in the skills of our people, by investing in our infrastructure, and by expanding opportunity and making it easier for people to go to college and not harder.